Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Zenith El Primero Synopsis. I'm not really sure what it's a synopsis of, but that's the name they chose for this new collection, which is based on the now discontinued Espada. So let me explain a little bit of history. I think it was about 2012 that Zenith came out with the Espada. And what was the Espada? The Espada was meant to be a three-hand dress watch with an El Primero movement. Now, the El Primero movement is quite famous movement, and it operates at 5 hertz versus the normal 3 or 4 hertz of most of the mechanical movements out there. And that extra speed allows it to be sort of more precise and accurate over time. Now, the Espada had a very similar 40 millimeter wide case. It came on a strap or a bracelet, and very similar sort of dial, but it didn't have the sort of open section there where you could see elements of the movement. It was either not successful or not successful enough, or what the deal was, but Zenith decided to sort of go back to the drawing board, discontinue the Espada, and then came the Synopsis, new for 2014. You know, whether it's better or not better, I think it's... I definitely like this one, I think, a little bit more than the Espada. But I think the Espada had some charm to it. But I think that one of the issues was that unless you sort of knew that it was an El Primero movement, you knew what that meant to you, that really didn't do anything. Now, Zenith has incorporated the sort of open heart design of some of their chronograph and other movements into this, and I think it's cool. Now, the question is a 5 hertz watch wasted if it's just a 3-hand? I would say no. You definitely benefit from some of the added, accuracy over time, and that's something that's good. In addition, this has some silicon parts as well. So silicon is a material that is used in a lot of high-end watchmaking today, and there's a lot of benefits to it. And so I'm just trying to angle this properly. You can see what you're looking at right there, spinning. There's sort of 3 overlapping circles there. And this one right here, you can see basically escapement and the anchor moving there in quick succession. And then over here in this top larger one, you have the balance wheel moving. And then here, you have a 3-pronged subsidiary seconds hand. And what I like is one of those prongs on that hand is actually loomed. So you do have loom on the seconds hand, which is cool. And of course, being able to see that movement in there is great. Just the other day, I used this watch to explain to a friend of mine how mechanical watches worked. He did not even understand how it didn't have a battery, so I had to explain. And this was a great watch because I could turn it around and show here's the automatic rotor, this is the balance wheel, and I said, you see this big part under here, that's kind of where the mainspring barrel is, and it worked out nicely. And I think that overall this is great. This movement is the El Primero caliber 4613, so I wouldn't say it's exactly the chronographs, just without the without the chronograph complication, but it's different. But it does, of course, is part of the El Primero family because of that 5 hertz speed. So if you want a 5 hertz dress watch that doesn't have a chronograph, this is one of your few options. This version is sort of an 18 karat rose gold, and I think it's very attractive. I normally am not super big into 40 millimeter wide watches, but I happen to like this one a lot. One of the reasons is that it's not too thin, and so that thickness of the case gives it a more substantial treatment. But at the same time, I think people looking for subdued dress watches are going to feel that this is too thick of a watch. It's not that thick, but they're going to think it's a little bit thicker than normal. It's not a pure dress watch, but it's also not a pure sport watch. It's somewhere in the middle, and so it fits in this category of where I would say the Rolex Datejust, which is somewhere between a sport watch and a dress watch. And I think that the Synopsis has the same thing. It comes in a bracelet, but I do happen to find that this strap, this nice alligator strap, is very attractive. It's got sort of a very luxurious tone to it, nice feel, and I think it's a great looking watch on the strap. A bit of a sort of retro sapphire crystal there, a little bit of sort of bowl shaped, so it is more or less flat on the top, a little bit of a dome, I think, but there's this sort of raised quality to it, which sort of is a vintage look. Of course, because it's Zenith, they did a really good job with the dial. I think the style of the dial definitely grew on me. I liked it. I didn't know if I was into sort of all these little markers around here, but it is nice. The hour markers are applied and easy. The hands are, of course, long, well, not long. They're the right length. They are loomed. So I think that you combine here a lot of legibility as well as this cool sort of open window there. It doesn't have the date, but frankly, I didn't miss it, and I don't really need the date on a watch like this. I think you combine just sort of a high-end look, interesting mechanics, and I think for mechanical watch lovers that want sort of a more simple daily watch, the El Primero Synopsis collection is going to be difficult to look over. I mean, there aren't a lot of options in this range, so I think Zenith was quite clever to make a collection like this. And I think that creating this sort of open window above and beyond the look of the Espada was probably a good choice for most customers. Price for the Zenith El Primero Synopsis in 18 karat rose gold retails for $15,300. Of course, it comes in steel, which is going to be less, and you can see the full review on aBlogtoWatch. Thanks.